here to begin with is a little section, a very small section of what I like to call my slide library. That's really what it is. Just a minute, it's not quite focused, I don't think. Hang on. There you are. And so there you are, and you see the 3 peaks of Swaledale. Jolly good walk that is, I tell you. 13 miles, with nothing for fit people like us. Nothing very much, is it really? And some purple patches. Don't worry too much about that. And a horse to go to helwith. Where that will come on at a later date. Roses of High Fremington, that is absolutely marvellous, but we're not able to do that, unfortunately. This is the one that we're going to look at tonight. Some sunny spots of greenery, a survey of idyllic picnic places. That's the thing, right. So, without more ado, I'll read you out the introduction here. What makes a truly idyllic spot for a picnic? Surely it must be secluded, embowered in unspoilt country surroundings, preferably on a stretch of lawn-like grass, and fairly easily accessible, i.e. a place to which our picnic basket or hamper and bottles of good cheer can be transported with not too much trouble. Such places are perhaps more readily discovered here in the North Yorkshire Dales than anywhere else. I call them Dingley Dells, after the memorable place in Pickwick Papers. So let us begin the pleasurable task of looking for some of them ourselves, starting from Coverdale and working northwards. But first of all, we'll have a look at a super picnic, what it could be. For American millionaires who think they have everything, Fortnum and Mason of Piccadilly is launching the ultimate picnic hamper, costing $30,000, £21,000. Described as the most luxurious picnic hamper in the world, the traditional handmade wicker basket measures 6 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet. I ask you. For a sum which would buy approximately 85,000 cucumber sandwiches in the Fortnum's tea shop, the well-heeled customer will be supplied with everything he or she needs to throw a dinner party for 12 on the lawn, including an antique music box to tinkle melodies as the hamper is unpacked. We will fly whoever buys the hamper to London by Concorde, put them up overnight in carriages, then take them down to Hever Castle in vintage Rolls-Royce for a picnic in the Italian gardens, Mr. Tim Hansel of Fortnum said yesterday. The airline tickets, hotel accommodation, and a typical English picnic of champagne, canapes, lobster, raspberries and cream are all included in the price of the hamper. Oh my God. And here's a rather jolly picture here of the first kind of picnic that ever was, round about the year 1840, something like that. Originally, a picnic was a sort of upper class thing, the kind of thing you had in deer parks and that sort of thing. You can see a rather bedraggled couple of deer there. I don't know whether you can see them there. There they are. There, one there. In a deer park. You see, and you notice the gentlemen there are keeping their gentlemanly glance away from that was the kind of thing they used to have in those days. Oh my goodness, yes. And now this is a modern day upper class picnic. It really is. Now this, in fact, it couldn't be more upper class because the family you're seeing here is the Borgia family, the Italian family who numbered quite a number of popes in their ancestors, as you know. And here they all are on a beach. Opposite the Isle of Elba, on the Italian coast, the coast of the Mediterranean, of course, and here we all are. And I'll try to read this out for you. A picnic at Pentalina, that's where they lived, in Tuscany it is. Here above are the Borgia family in a secluded sandy bay overlooking the Isle of Elba. Sorry, what the hell is it? Are full of sandwiches. Oh, sorry, yes, are full of sandwiches. Brown bread with Pentalina cheese, tomatoes, and wild boar meat, together with Pentalina wine, for P is in Chianti country. Do you see that White House on the far side of the bay? I don't know whether you can actually, it's there. There, just there. Livia Borgia, that one there. Livia Borgia and extreme left, and I ran there and back along the sandy beach. There we ran all the way around there to there. And of course back. And then that's the cousin there, the chap who runs the estate of Pentalina. Eduardo Scoffa was who runs the estate, has an artificial foot. One of the Borgia girls told me quietly he was on the Russian front, you know, and was careless enough to leave one of his legs, his feet, in the snow there. So there, the poor chap. And we've seen him since, and he's still wearing a boot covering an artificial foot. He's got rather hard luck on the poor chap, really. However, there you are. So now, this is how the name came about, and as you see, it's a first edition of Coleridge's Kubla Khan there, and Christabel and the other, but the main one was Kubla Khan. It's an absolute masterpiece, and he composed it, as you see, it says a vision, and it was printed, as you see, in 1816 there, and this is a first edition in its original cover there. I bought it at a shop called Pickering and Chatto's in the Haymarket in London in the 1950s, and I kept it very, very carefully for a very long time, and eventually I sold it for something in 3 figures later on. I haven't got it now, I wish I had, but this is what you see in it, and here you are. It was composed, he was an opium man, unfortunately, and he composed this poem under opium, under the influence of opium, really. I'll read it out to you. In Scanadu did Kubla Khan a stately pleasure dome decree, where Alph, the sacred river, ran through caverns measureless to man, down to a sunless sea. So twice 5 miles of fertile ground, with walls and towers were girdled round, and there were gardens bright with sinuous rills, where blossomed many an incense-bearing tree. And here were forests, ancient as the hills, enfolding sunny spots of greenery. Got it? Yes. Right. Now the last 3 lines here absolutely hit you. I tell you, they hit you like a baseball bat. But oh, that deep romantic chasm which slanted down the green hill athwart a cedarn cover, a savage place, as holy and enchanted as air beneath a waning moon was haunted by woman wailing for her demon lover. There you are. What do you think of that? Terrific. And there it is. I reckon that's a savage place, as holy and enchanted. In a waning moon, you can imagine what I shan't tell you where it is, but that's it. so we start off here, and here's a little map here to give you some idea of where to start for your first walk. And that's Middleham there, you see, Middleham there, and this is the main road down to Coverham, Coverham Abbey and Coverham there it is there. And as you come up here, up the slight hill, out of Middleham itself, you'll see a stile in the wall there, just about there it is there, and you walk down alongside that wall, that's the wall, down there to a bridge. Now, it's called Hullo Bridge, and it's on the River Cover. This is the River Cover here, you see. And the idea is that you park your car there, and anyhow, park it somehow there, and then you get out and you walk down alongside the wall there, down there, and all of a sudden you see a bridge, and it's a deuce of a surprise, I tell you. You say, "Hello, bridge!" and of course the damn thing is called Hullo Bridge. And you get to the bridge and you walk alongside there. You can see the footpath there marked in green there, and you go right along there to the second walk up the wall there. There are two walls there. Don't take the first one, take the second one. You walk up there to what's called Sun Skew, overlooking the great Middleham Castle up there, and that's the way we're going to go. Quite a short walk to begin with, really. So here we are, walking alongside the wall, and there's the wall, you see, and the River Cover, C-O-V-E-R, is right at the bottom there, right down there. And we're walking downhill steadily, and there, and all of a sudden you come to the edge of the bank there, and you say, "Hullo, bridge!" And sure enough, there is the bridge, you see, and you continue down, and there you come to the bridge, and there is the bridge, masked, as you see, like that, in trees, but a beautiful little stretch of lawn-like grass there, overlooking the River Cover. Very good fishing stream, the Cover, by the way. And from here you walk alongside the river, and this again is the map, you see, and you see there's the Hullo Bridge there, Hullo Bridge, and there it is, and you walk along there like that, and then, as I say, up eventually up there to Sun Skew. You see where it says Sun Skew there, and there it is. That's the River Cover and the woods alongside it. Absolutely beautiful there, really is lovely. And your track goes along there like that, in the lawn-like grass. Absolutely beautiful. And there, all of a sudden, there are really rather a lot of us there, but never mind. We are up on top of Sun Skew there, and a very, very good place for having your little picnic tea or whatever, refreshments of sorts anyway. There are something like 40 odd walkers here, rather a lot really, but we don't generally have that many. In fact, the last walk we had, last Saturday, we were only 11 strong. Well, think of that, due to the weather, of course, more than anything. But there you are. That's and it's called Sun Skew because it's a Norse word. In fact, it was there long before the castle was built. The castle was built by the old Earls of Middleham under William the Conqueror, of course. But William the Conqueror didn't come along, as you know, until 1066. And Sun Skew, this ground here, this little highland piece of ground here, overlooking the castle, there's the castle, you can see it, was named long before the castle was ever built. And Sun Skew, the word skew means wood. It's a Norse word for a wood. So presumably in their time, i.e. about 200 years before the Norman conquest, round about the year 800 or something like that, it would have been a woodland scene here and sun, well, a sunlit wood. That's what you can imagine. There are several other skews around the place. For instance, if you go down from here to Richmond, you'll come to Ingskew on your right and Oxkew on your left. Ingskew meaning a meadow with a wood. Ing again is a Norse word meaning a meadow. And Oxkew, well, ox is the same word, it's remained unchanged. Ox or cows, in other words. Down on the left there, Oxkew wood. And there they are. Just before you get to where the Wensleydale Road joins the Swaledale Road at the bottom, by Downholme Bridge, just there, on your right and your left, the two skews. There they are. So now, the next one we have a look at, make a note then, first of all, of your first walk, going down to Hullo Bridge, quite a short one, jolly short really, and the next one is here from West Burton. West Burton in Bishopdale. And once again, the parking is quite easy. You come along from the main A684, the main road up Wensleydale, and before you get to Bainbridge, you turn off to the left where it says West Burton. There's West Burton there, you see. And this is the road you come on here, the approach road from the main road, the main A684 from Leyburn is somewhere along round there like that. You come down here like that, there. And you come to West Burton here, and what you do is to go up almost to the top of West Burton, because the parking is more easy there on either side of the road. And this is what confronts you there. And that's West Burton there with the rather jolly village cross. There you are, 1820. It was built, it was put there, erected there in 1820, as you see. And there's a rather tidy little village on that side there, and another one on that side there actually. And your road, there it is, there, and you can imagine you parked your car somewhere around about there, you see. And you go and you leave the car there and you trot down here like this, and at the bottom there's a most picturesque Burton Falls waterfall. You'll see it there as you go past, and it's really beautifully unspoilt, wild woodland country, as you see all around. They do say that the deadly nightshade grows there, the belladonna, highly poisonous, so perhaps I shouldn't have told you that, but anyway, for sheer interest's sake, the belladonna with a big black sort of cherry-like berry on it, very shiny, and it looks lovely, it looks very succulent, and you think, by gum, I could pick a few of these for supper tonight, and if you did, you'd be a dead dog, I tell you. So anyway, there it is, but it really is a very beautiful scene at any time, very lovely indeed. So, what you do is to go down and you find yourself going up this rather steepish road here, like this, up the hill, towards what's called Morpeth Scar. You'll see it on the map, Morpeth Scar. It's rather a steepish hill coming up there, unfortunately. There, you can see it there coming up. What's the matter with this damn thing? Oh, there we are. There you are, coming up the hill here. But there, way down below, the countryside there of Bishopdale, at Bishopdale there, going all the way up there. And these are hanging, they're called hanging woods, because they sort of hang for dear life on the steep slope of Morpeth Scar. Now, don't worry about the name Morpeth Scar when I tell you that the name, once again, is Old English for murder. and someone must have done the dirty on somebody else up here at some unknown time in the past. And thereafter, the lane was called the Morpeth Gate, M-O-R-P-T-P-E-T-H, Morpeth. So the same name as that town in Northumberland, you know, Northumbria. However, we needn't dwell too much on that, need we? However, so there you are, and a very steep slope up here, as you see, not only to Morpeth Scar, but also to a very pretty little sort of hollowed out nest where we gratefully settled down for our Dingley Dell, for our little picnic supper or whatever. And there it is. There's a little place there. You come up here, you see, and there's a junction there. One half goes up there, that's a Morpeth Gate, and another track goes up that way, along past Morpeth Scar to Hudson Quarry, and it's called on the map Knarlton Knot. K-N-A-R-L-T-O-N, Knarlton Knot. And Nancy Nick, who Nancy was, I don't know, but she was obviously known as, in her lifetime, as Nancy Nick, or it may have been Nancy the Nick, for all I know. And there's a little signpost, you see, pointing to Hudson Quarry and Morpeth Scar. Anyway, that's where we settled down, in there. And just over there, when you've had your Dingley Dell, you get over there and you have a look over there and you get a panoramic view of West Burton. I'll show it to you in a minute. First of all, here we all are, or here we both are rather. That's a young friend of mine. I always used to walk with him some years ago now. He was quite a young chap, highly intelligent, with very sharp eyes, very good on not only wildflowers, he knew the name of every single wildflower we ever met, and the same with birds. Once we were high up on Bishopdale, and he spotted a golden eagle. And I couldn't believe him at first, but it was on a Saturday, and when I got back home, I read the D&S Times, the local paper, Darlington and Stockton Times, and they very often have a little column headed Nature Notes. And Nature Notes for that Saturday, after he had spoken to me, said that a golden eagle had been seen in Bishopdale. And very remarkable, really. And I never, ever doubted his word for anything like that. A very clever chap indeed. He's a very shy young fellow, so I better not tell you what his name is. And there you are. And that's the view of West Burton that you have just over the lip, as it were, of Morpeth Scar. And you walk along, as I say, you walk along the top there, and you come to Knarlton Nick, and you all of a sudden have another super view of another dale. It's a sort of a sub-dale, you might call it really, Walden, W-A-L-D-E-N, Walden, there it is, it goes up there like that. And our track leaves the road from Knarlton Nick, and it comes down here like this, like that. Very, very steep down there. It's called Poor's Land, and the poor chap who tries to do anything with that, I'm sorry for him. It's called, on your map, it's called Poor's Land. And it's jolly difficult, I tell you, to go down with just your legs. I mean, you feel like going down backwards on all fours, I tell you. And here we are, some of our walkers going down there like that. And of course, the view that you get as you go down is absolutely terrific. Look at that. Isn't that marvellous? That's a view that you get as you go down, all the way down there. You come down, you eventually land down in there, in the level field there, and there, hidden in the trees there, is the Burton Waterfall that we had a look at before. It's just about there. And you come down here like this, and you make your way back again to your car, which you hope is still there. And there you notice the village cross, the one we had a look at, the one that was built in 1820. It's a very, very good walk indeed, that. Well worth making a note of and going on one of these days. So now we come across at this time to Askrigg, and it's this time somewhere near but not on the river Yure, or Yore, whichever you like. I always like to call it Yore, Y-O-R-E, rather than Yure. Somehow Yure always sounds a bit too medical, I don't know why, but anyway, not worry. Don't think about it. And there is the western end there of Askrigg. So you go to Askrigg, get rid of your card, not literally, but get rid of it somehow, there in Askrigg, and you walk along to the end of where the council houses are, the new houses just about there, and you'll find a little stile, very narrow stile, giving on to a paved footpath that takes you across to the beck here. It's called the Whitfield Gill Beck there, going along there like that, all the way up there. And it really is quite a wonderful walk, I tell you. And there we all are, and all our walkers there, starting on it. That's the first boundary wall, and you can tell that it's quite a well-used track. There it is there, you see it. You go up through the woods there, and far down below, right down there, is the Whitfield Gill, and the floor of the woods here are carpeted with bluebells, and wild garlic, the white wild garlic everywhere, and the brilliant bluebells, they're all there as well. I once met a lady from Boston, Massachusetts, here, and she said that she thought this was the finest walk in the world. She comes over, she said, she comes over from the USA every year at about this time of year, May or June, just to go on this walk and stay in Askrigg for a fortnight. She stays in a hotel in Askrigg there, and I met her, and she said, well, I intend to come every year. So I said, oh, jolly good. Well, anyway, I didn't say any more. I didn't dare say any more. And so here we are, and we're walking along, and now, what's happened here? Oh no! I'm not quite sure quite what's happened.
Upside down.
What? Is it upside down, you think?
In the signpost.
Oh, right. Yes. Oh, it's sideways. Anyway, not to worry. Anyway, take it for granted. There. And this is what we eventually see. It's an absolutely amazing view of the first waterfall we meet with, which is called Mill Gill Foss. There it is. And it seems to come straight down from out of the sky, comes down from there like that. And here you see a few of our walkers here gazing rapt at the view. The great painter J.M.W. Turner was told about this, and he said, oh gosh, I must come, well he didn't say gosh, I must come up and paint it. So he did. He came up in the early part of the last century, 1812 or something like that, and he painted it, and this is what he did with it. There. Presumably you can see it there. These are the woods, I think, probably autumn woods on either side there, and there is Mill Gill Foss there, going down there like that, you see, down at the bottom there. That's J.M.W. Turner, Mill Gill Foss for you. And you go on a bit further, and it gets darker. The general gill gets darker and more sort of menacing in many ways. It's so steep. And there you see one of us clinging to the side there. I mean, it's about 1 and 2 there, you see. And he's looking there at Whitfield Gill Foss. That's the other one up at the top there. And you can see it's almost sheer further down, and It's all wild and overgrown, as you see, and your ears are filled with the continuous roar of the Whitfield gill foss there in the beginning. At this time of year, when the rains have come very heavily indeed, this Whitfield gill foss is quite a sight, I tell you, it really is. And you go on up from here. He had quite a job. That's one of our walkers, and he had quite a struggle to get back to terra firma, I tell you. But anyway, this is what you come to. You come to the top, and you're looking down where that chap there is pointing. You're looking right down through the trees here at Whitfield gill foss, and you can hear the constant roar of it coming up, filtering up through the trees. It's really quite marvellous. There are quite a few of our walkers here tonight, and they will recognise themselves, at least I hope they will. So there, now we come down the River Yore a bit further, and there you see the A684, the main road there going down there, through Aysgarth. There's Aysgarth, you see. And what you do this time is to park your car in the car park on the other side, on the north side of the river. There, it's somewhere around about there. It'll be marked on your map, you'll find. It's just about there. And you park your car, and you walk down to the bridge, and you cross the River Yore, up the other side, past the church. There's the church there, you see, and then down the side of the River Yore, like that. The Aysgarth Falls to begin with, by the bridge, and then comes Middle Falls, round about there, and then the lower falls round about there. That's there you see Hestholm, it's called Hestholm, and that's where the low falls are. Again, painted by J.M.W. Turner, let me tell you. And that's what they will look like. The upper falls, Aysgarth Falls, will look like that probably now. If you go there now, I wouldn't mind betting this is what they look like. And it's quite awe-inspiring, I tell you. The water there, it's brown as you see, from the peat in the high fells, high above, the moors and the fells up in the upper part of Wensleydale, and it comes down like that. And your ears are filled with the noise all the time. It really is quite remarkable. It's well worth going there just to look at those, because they have quite a sort of mesmerizing effect on you as you gaze at them from the bridge. And this one was taken from Aysgarth Bridge, looking at the water. And so you come down a bit further, and only a little less awe-inspiring are the Middle Falls. Here they are, the Middle Falls, you see. Halfway between the low falls and the ones you've just seen, the great upper falls, and there they are. And on the far side are the woods there, the Aysgarth Freeholders Wood, it's called. Freeholders Wood on that side there. Great place for hazelnuts and wild anemones as well. You'll see them, woodland anemones. They give a wonderful sight. At this time of year, you'll see them as you go down. And there, at the bottom, low falls. Here they are. A wonderful panoramic view. You can come down either through the Freeholders Wood, that way there, or there's a footpath that comes down like that, and it gives you a grandstand view really from there, looking down onto the river there. And of course a little further down, the shore on the north side here broadens out, and you can sit there and have your jolly old Dingley Dell, I tell you. And there, before you do anything else, is what J.M.W. Turner made of it in about the year 1820, something like that. And this particular one, in sepia tones like that, was published in Whitaker's History of Richmondshire, published in 1825. I'm lucky enough to have a copy of it. I bought it years and years ago. I've still got it in the back of the bookcase somewhere or other. But you notice that old Turner, J.M.W. Turner, always made the most of everything. Look at the whacking great clouds coming up there on either side there. The huge great mountains you can imagine, alpine mountains on either side, hidden in the thunder clouds up there. He did the same with everything. And this here, look at this, I mean, cliffs, talk about the white cliffs of Dover, looking down over there like that. Absolutely wonderful man he was for creating atmosphere. That was really what it was. And in there, you'll see a rather interesting birch. There are several birch trees around. And the nice thing about birch trees, as you know, is that they grow with a beautifully smooth bark all the time, practically all their life. And so it's a positive invitation to anybody to carve their name on it or put this kind of thing on. 1963, I love Jerry. And I often wonder whether in fact that was done perhaps in his younger days by Mick Jagger, before he actually teamed up with Jerry Hall. 1963, but I don't know. Anyway, that's a little thought. Goodness me. And hello, what the deuce is happening here? Dash. Look here. It's worthwhile. I think I ought to try and. If you wouldn't mind putting the light on a minute. I'm going to do my best to put this right. Something's gone wrong here, I think. Seen that? Yes, right, that J.M.W. Turner. And there is Mick Jagger. Anyway. And here we are. This is what thank goodness, this is what I wanted to show you. Very important here. And this is at a place called Hestholme. You'll see it marked on your map, the map that you'll be sure to take with you when you go on a walk here. And there you see the footpath there, coming down to a stile. There's a stile there, you see, and you're coming down here like that from off the top. It comes down rather steeply, and you come down here like that. And there is the rather pretty little grassy margin here, where you can sit down with a sigh of thankfulness, and there is the river there, and you're looking straight up at Low Falls. And you may, some of you here tonight may recognize yourselves. You're here anyway, and that's what you look like. And so there, and we continue on the other side of Hestholme. And again, this is a lovely walk here, which takes you up the top there like that. It skirts the woods like that, and down to Redmire Force. And here is the Ellers Road. It goes across here. You wouldn't think it. The remains of the crossing of the river are there. And in fact, below the surface of the water is quite a good pavement of rocky pavement there, which carried the old road, the old main road, in fact, as it was, down Bishopdale, way over there, and coming down here like that, crossing there, and it went up and continued on down Wensleydale past Bolton Castle. And this was a very essential crossing place at that time. But anyway, what we do is to go along here like this. We go along like that, and you do a little climb up there alongside the wall like that. And that is a sort of reverse view, really, looking down from the hill here, and there's your road here. And this is where the previous picture was taken from, just about there. And there you see the crossing there of the Ellers Lane there, like that there. And this, as you can see, was taken in autumn time with the lovely golden birch trees here. You can see quite a few of them there. like that. One of them carved by the excellent, well, no, we don't really know. And here you see the wonderful riverside as you go down there, lovely, just above Redmire Force. And there you see Redmire waterfall there, lovely, a very pretty waterfall there. And on either side you see the woodlands there on either side of the River Yore there, coming down there like that. And a constant roaring of the waters as you sit down here alongside them. There you are, and you're having your ding-a-dell on a very, very convenient fallen birch tree, you see there, like that. It accommodates jolly nearly all of us, all except a few people there outside, but they take it all in good part. They, in fact, if anything, they've got a grandstand view of the water, more so than these people here. But the area here is covered in about 2 feet, I should think, 2 foot depth of birch trees, because they're all birch trees round about here, and the next picture will show you what they look like. They're all birch trees here, you see, and this is a view looking further down the River Yore there, all the way down there like that. Marvellous view, I tell you. So now we come now to Kisden Fell, and this time we are starting off, once again, make a note of it, Muka, there, like that. And what we're going to do is to go not actually over Kisden Fell, we're going to go round the side there to Ramsholm Bridge there, which in fact does go over the river, but we're not going to do that. We're going along the side there, like that, called North Gang. That side there of Kisden is called the North Gang. Gang meaning way, of course. And this is the north side anyway. So that's called the North Gang, going that way. And that's the way we're going to go. And there's a view that you have of, it's not quite in focus, I don't think. Hang on. There, that's better. There's Muka. There's Muka there. And you can see the footpath that you take, plain as a pikestaff there, coming across the show field. That's where they have the famous Muka show with the even more famous Muka silver band to play there in the show field there, usually in either August or September. I think it's September this year. And you come along there, there's a stile there, along there, they will come down there like that, all the way across there to the river. And you can just see a little glimpse of the River Swale this time. There, the River Swale down, and the footpath comes along there to the banks of the River Swale, and instead of turning right when you get to the river, turn right for Ramsholm Bridge, you turn left, and you go along the North Gang, as I say. And here we are, we're on it now, North Gang there, and there, high up there is Crackpot Hall. Crackpot Hall there. It's called Crackpot because down at the bottom there is a cave which you can get to, and it's a very, very narrow entrance, very narrow indeed. And of course the original name for a cave was a pothole. We still call them potholes anyway, and in those days every cave was not a cave at all, but a pothole, and it was a veritable crack, I tell you, to squeeze yourself through and into the cave. And so Crackpot Hall took its name from that. It was built by Lord Wharton in the early part of the 18th century, Queen Anne's time really, as a deer hunting lodge really. All this lot here was a deer hunt, was a deer park. It's still called Deer Park there, and the same applies to the other two hunting lodges that Lord Wharton built in the time of Queen Anne in those days, and he had a deer park attached to every single one. to every single one of those 3 parks. And this one is the first one, the one highest up Swaledale. And here we are, we're all going along here like mad here. A wonderful place here for sitting and eating your dinghy-dell, or anywhere really, pretty well. And there, look at that, isn't that marvellous? And there's the river coming down there, like that, you see. And there's a footpath coming down past Crackpot Hall. There's Crackpot Hall, you see. And it comes down here like that, crossing Swinnergill there. But that's our return journey. We're coming down that way. What we're doing is to go up this way here, like that, there, like that, up through the woods there, and up to Kisden Foss, which we'll see in a minute, I hope. And we stop here, once again, here we are at Kells, and we stop here, and you'll see quite a few, you'll see yourselves, quite a few of you who are here tonight who will recognize yourselves, I have no doubt. This is in the lower part of Kells, and the river Swale is far down below there, going down there, mumbling and roaring to itself as it goes down. At one time, when we first came, my family and I first came here in the 1950s, we came in 1959, and there was still a post office in Kells, there were shops, and there was a school in Kells, but they've all now gone. It's a march of progress, I suppose. Personally, I don't call it that, but still, never mind. And you come along, and you come down from Kells, over Kell Bridge, it's a footbridge, and up the other side to this wonderful dinghy-dell here, absolutely incredibly beautiful there, for a dinghy-dell. Once again, here are some of us waiting here, you see. And this is East Gill Foss here. It was taken after a very heavy storm, and it's increased in size 3 or 4 times, I should say. East Gill comes down from Water Crag, right down there, and it comes down like that. And it's very, very picturesque and wild beck, and it ends finally in the river Swale here, just below Kell, just about there actually, where the river starts, just about there. And this is beautiful grass here, and you simply cross over the river by Kell Bridge, and you find yourself walking on a regular tennis court of grass here like this, and you sit down thankfully for your dinghy-dell, I tell you. Marvellous place. Now, hold on. Now, hold your breath. There. Now, from East Gill, there's a footpath that goes up to Crackpot Hall. And there you see Crackpot Hall there, and you're looking down on this incredibly beautiful North Gang here, and the woods down at the bottom, and far down below you hear the river roaring away, and Swinnergill, one of the tributaries of the river, is down, deeply down there like that, and you go down past Crackpot Hall there, you see. Crackpot Hall was in ruins because in 1953, just before we came, our family came, it collapsed. The whole of the centre bay of Crackpot Hall collapsed owing to the labyrinth of lead mines only about 20 feet below the surface there, and the foundations gave way, and of course it was too much of a good thing, and you couldn't repair it. There was nothing to build on, you see, and so it remained like that for a long time. And there's a very interesting side track that goes up there to the old blacksmith shop. You can just see it there, where my little red mark is there. A blacksmith shop, and we walkers very often used to stop there and have our dinghy-dell in the actual shop itself, the blacksmith shop. And while we were there one day, we unearthed in the rubbish in the floor, which was about a foot deep, I suppose, an original clippers, sheep clippers, made in the blacksmith shop itself. It was quite a find, really. And we presented it to the Wreath Museum. And if you ever go to the Wreath Museum at all, if you have time at all, you'll see the actual pair of sheep clippers looking like a sort of primitive pair of scissors, really, very, very sharp still. And they were made actually there in that very shop there, in that blacksmith shop there. It was used, of course, to shoe the horses, carrying the lead ore down from the upper part of the mines here, which are all over here, down the footpath here, the track, down to the, the smelting mill at the foot of Swenagill, down there. And there you see Swenagill. That's what Swenagill looks like when it's been very wet. Now, if you decide at any time to walk down there, there is a footpath on this side here. If you decide you're going to walk down Swenagill, do so for goodness sake, because it's lovely. It's absolutely beautiful. But you come to this enormous great waterfalls halfway down. And it's not normally like this at all. This is artificially exaggerated, really, by a very heavy rainfall we had, and it's really only about half this size. And what you have to do is to cross the beck, Swenagill beck, there. There you see it, rather stony, and be careful of your footing. Don't slip whatever you do, or you'll descend into there, which won't be nice for you. And so you want to remember that. And you can always say, if you do that, well, Major Williams told us about it. So there you are. And you come the other side, you see, and then the footpath continues on like that, down to the level of the River Swale and safety. So do bear in mind, cross before you try to jump down over that beck there, because I tell you, I've done it myself once, and it's a jolly unnerving experience, let me tell you. And so here you are, and you come down, where the deuce are we? Oh yes, that's right. This is a super view that you get looking down, and we'll have another look at it in a minute. Yeah, and there you are. Now I'll tell you what this is. This, in fact, is Arkengarthdale. You see there, Arkengarthdale there. And what we are going to do now is to come along down here like this from the Stang Bridge, yes, that's right, there, and this is, hang on, where are we now? Oh yes, I see, yes, of course, yes, that's right, there. This is, what bridge is that? Richmond? No, what?
That's both.
What?
Esket. Esket Bridge.
Oh yeah, that's right. Escaleth Bridge, of course it is, yes, that's right. So there you are, and we start off from the hotel. There's Langsthwaite, you see Langsthwaite there. Now, if you come up Arkengarthdale, you go through there, the main road there, you go through Langsthwaite there, and you come up to the hotel. You see there, it says hotel there. And what you do is to park very conveniently alongside the road there, beside the hotel. We ourselves did it last Saturday, actually, and there's quite a good parking place there. And so you park your car there, and you plunge down through a footpath down towards Scar House, and Scar House is on the other side, down there. like that. And you'll see it in a minute. And there you are. That's what Scar House looks like in autumn time. In the lovely Scar House woods, there are the Scar House woods, you see, in autumn time. And it's once again, it's a modern shooting house, a shooting lodge, if you like, of the Duke of Norfolk. He lives there, and he comes, I don't know how often he comes for the shooting, presumably, up on top there. That's called Boo's Moor, up on top there, like that. And so that's the view that you have looking down from the CB Hotel. Charles Bathurst are the initials, CB. Charles Bathurst was the son and heir of the great Dr. Bathurst, Dr. John Bathurst, who bought all this land here when he was in his prime as physician to King Charles I. And he was not only a doctor, a physician, but he was also a bit of what they call nowadays an entrepreneur. In other words, he developed the lead mining potential of all this part of Arkengarthdale. And he made a great deal of money at it, and he had a son and a grandson and a great-grandson, all called Charles, after the monarch, I presume, Charles I. I don't know that, but Dr. John Bathurst, being a bit of an entrepreneur, probably thought, oh, well, we better name our children after the monarch, after all. So they were all called Charles Bathurst, and that's why the hotel, it's not called Charles Bathurst, it's called the CB. C for Charlie, B for Bathurst, and there you are. So you park your car opposite the CB Hotel, and you go streaming down from there through the stiles, the little stile beside the hotel, and here you are, you're streaming down, and there you see Scar House. It's on a scar, you see, or a bank there, covered with woodland there, as you see, mostly birch trees, and you go through there like that, and you go up through there's a right-of-way, and you go up past Scar House itself, and you go through the woods here, and up onto the top of the scar here, or the top of the bank really, and then down through Scar Woods there like that. And that's the way we're going to go on our walk. It's a really lovely one, I tell you. And here you are, you're coming up now from the bottom, from Scar House itself, and there's the footpath. You come along there and you plunge down into the woods there like that. Lovely woods there are, I tell you. And here you are, coming down there like that. Beech trees, well, you can see the beeches there. One rather interesting thing, you might be able to find it, I don't know, but there is a very, very rare orchid that is here, and it only appears once every 200 or 300 years. So if you ever find one there, you'll be lucky really. The moon orchid, and there it is, and you might find it. It only grows in beech woods, so there. And on the left there, you'll just about there, just about in the corner there, if you look upwards there, you'll see the huge spoil heap of a very, very prosperous lead mine. They didn't know at the time it was going to be prosperous, but it turned out to be extremely rich. And you can always tell how rich a lead mine is going to be by the size of the spoil heap. If it's a small spoil heap, no go. If it's a huge spoil heap, it means they must have been able to dig a huge tunnel a long way into the side of the hill to get lead ore out ad infinitum. And that's what happened here. And so as you go down there, you'll see a huge, great spoil heap there and they called it, quite rightly so, prosperous lead mine. It jolly well was. It must have made them a good deal of money as you go down. So you go on down, and there you see at the bottom Langswaite, which is what you might call the capital, really, of Auchengarthdale. It's been the scene of a great many episodes of all creatures great and small. And the result is that there are very, very few, if any, television aerials. They were all taken down specially to give a kind of period flavour to the scene here of Langswaite here. You don't go into Langswaite itself to begin with. You go up the hill, you come down, and instead of coming in this way, you go up the hill there, like that. There. It's called Scotty Hill. Scotty Hill, up on top there. You'll see it marked on the map. And you go up the hill, past Scotty Hill, there like that, on your way to a little hamlet called Booze, B-O-O-Z-E. And there you are. That's what Booze looks like today. It was at one time the village of a whole lot of lead miners. Quite a lot of them, because all around here, Sleagill here was very, very rich in lead ore. They got an awful lot of lead ore out, and the miners themselves all had little houses, quite small little houses, as you see, little teeny ones there. But of course, eventually, the lead ore gave out, like these things do, and they had no more work to do, and unemployment was rife and so on. So what they did was to take ship, they and their families, to the USA. And they settled down in the state of Iowa, in the middle west of the United States. And they found there a great center of lead mining, and they continued lead mining there as a little community, something like that. They didn't call it Booze because that would be tempting Providence. I mean, if the Americans had come across a community by the name of Booze, they'd have drawn the wrong conclusion, what? So it wasn't called Booze. Instead, what they did was to call it Swaledale. And it's known as Swaledale to this day. It's still called Swaledale. And the various local families, the Harkers, the Peacocks, the Dinsdales and so on, they all settled down in the state of Iowa, and they're still there today. And jolly good, they must have done a very good job of work to have settled down like that. And I gave a talk like this once to an American audience. They all came over, a society of them, and they were so amazed at this that they sent me a letter, and I've still got the letter, and they sent me a map too, and photographs of what the Iowa Swaledale looks like now. They called it Swaledale instead of Booze, you see, like that. But this is what Booze looks like, and Town End is where the smoke is coming out of the chimney there. It's the only inhabited house really in it. It's where the Harker family, they're one of the original Harkers, Dennis Harker and his sisters, they are there as well, Hazel and Dorothy. Their father, Tomlin, died about 3 years ago, I suppose, but they're still there. And I still see them from time to time when I go up walking there. And you walk down through there, through Booze, past Town End Farm there, and you'll find a footpath that goes straight up Sleagill. And there it is. I don't know whether you can see it awfully well, but there's Booze there somewhere. I think, where is it now? It's down there. There it is, Booze. Can you see it? Booze. And there's a footpath well marked on this map here, and it goes up there like that, all the way up to the head of Sleagill, which is up at the top there. And it makes a marvellous walk. I'll show you. There, lovely grassy path all about. This is Sleagill, the upper part of Sleagill there, the beck, you see, the Sleagill beck there, and this is where you walk there. Lovely tennis court grass, honestly, all the way up there, like that, you see, like that, all the way up there, right up to the top. And eventually you get to the head of Sleagill, i.e. the source of the Sleagill beck, and the ideal place there, here we all are, sitting down there, to our Dingley Dell. We're all enjoying ourselves, and the Sleagill Beck is there, right down there, grumbling away down at the bottom. And Sleagill goes down there like that, you see, all the way down. And here we all are. It's rather a stormy day, but anyway, we're all, as you can see, we're thoroughly enjoying ourselves, and quite a few of us here tonight, I'm glad to say. So there you are. And this is the way back. You come back, here you are, you're coming downhill all the way, lovely grassy track, as you see, all the way down there, alongside the Sleagill Beck. There it is, down there, and you go down there like that, right the way down to the bottom, past Booze. You leave Booze, incidentally, on your right-hand side. You go straight down alongside the beck. You keep following the beck alongside this grassy track all the way down. And you come eventually you go past Storthwaite Hall. The local pronunciation of it is Sturfit, S-T-U-R-F-I-T, but again it's a Norse name, Storthwaite, S-T-O-R-T-H-W-A-I-T-E, Thwaite. And store is a Norse word for cow, and thwaite a sheltered meadow or a grazing bit for cows. And all the meadows here there are sheltered from the weather by the high fells on the skyline there. That's called Fell End there, Fell End, and this is Fremington Edge, going all the way along there like that. And the cows grow plump and fat and so on in the little sheltered fields there, and they're looked after by the farmer, Mr. Clifford Alderson. His name is Clifford Alderson, and he lives there. Clifford Alderson's son did very well. He became a chef, and he wasn't an ordinary chef. He became a chef to Buckingham Palace. Marvellous man. And he did his time in Buckingham Palace as a chef, and eventually finished, and he set up in a hotel in Harrogate, and he's still there in a hotel which he appropriately called the Balmoral Hotel. And he was the son of Clifford Alderson, who farmed here for a very long time. Clifford Alderson is now retired, let me tell you. He lives in Reeth, I'm glad to say, but Sturfit Hall belongs to some other farmer. And so eventually you come down to the wonderful Booze Woods, the entrance. There's a little entrance gate, and you push your way through the gate there, and you lose yourself in the forest dim down there among the lovely birch trees and everything down there. That's where you go. And there is rather a good view there, a sort of a bird's eye view, if you like, of Storthwaite Hall there, and you can see the track that we're taking, coming down here like that through there, curving round and going through the gate. Can you see the gate there in the Booze Woods? These are the Booze Woods here, you see, and the gate that we're going through is there. You push through the gate there, and you're inside those beautiful woods, having passed Storthwaite Hall there. That's Top Hall, that's another farm. And this view that you're looking at was taken from Fell End, looking down on the Storthwaites, the sheltered fields of the farm there. And so here you are, you're inside now, you're inside the woods. Here are some of the birch trees and the pine trees as well, quite a few here, coming down here like this, on your way back to where you came from, Langsthwaite. Here you are, here are the trees, and you're coming down there through the trees, and the beck, the Arkle Beck, is far down below you there. And there, suddenly, you breathe a sigh of relief. You come down to Langsthwaite, and there is a jolly nice pub there, the Red Lion Inn, looked after by the Wingfield family, and they're still there, I'm glad to say. You go in there and you sit down there on the table there like that, outside, preferably outside when the sun's shining there like that, and you have your well-earned light refreshment. Now, one other, we're getting near the end now, and this is Mask. And very often, every year, our children come along to see how we're getting on, and I take them for a walk. And this is one, mind you, it's only a short walk nowadays, let me tell you, because I'm not as good as I used to be, not so elastic as I was at one time. So we go from Mask very often, which is quite close to High Fremington, and there you are. You stop your car beside the village sign here, Mask, and you go along, and here you see Mark and Mary and the boys there, Mark's son there, you see, and Mary, his little wife there, and the boys there, the three boys there, and we go for a little walk, and I take them and show them. And you go, once again, lovely woods, and this is the hamlet of Clints, it's called, C-L-I-N-T-S, Clints. The name means high cliffs, which are behind there, the cliffs there, and the woodlands here are all sort of climbing up the bank there behind the little hamlet of Clints here, like that. And you go past Clints, and you come, there you are, that's what you meet with. Beautiful woods all the way there, absolutely lovely. You go on, and there's a rather jolly little house in the middle called David's house there. It was built by the Hutton family, who owned Mask at one time, for the gamekeeper, David, his name was. And so it's ever since that time, in the 18th century, it's always been called David's house. And there's David's house in the middle of Clint's Wood there, like that. And you go on and you turn round at a place called Orgate, and there you see the lovely view that you have. These are the Orgate woods here, like that. And it's getting towards sunset, and you're having to get back again eventually, back to Mask. And this is the view you get. That's a view of Clint's Wood there, and you're coming back along there like that through the woods there, you see. And that's myself, actually, would you believe? And so lastly, we come to High Fremington, and our house is peeping rather coyly there, as you see. You can just see a weeny little teeny bit. This is Fremington Edge there, and this is Low Fremington there. The name speaks for itself, for goodness sake. High Fremington is up above there, and here are the woods there. And once again, our family come along to see us. The daughter, Heather, comes to see us, and she sends all sorts of things. Look at this now. Two lambs talking to each other. One says to the other, "What about dressing up as pheasants and visiting the Williamses?" one lamb saying it to the other, you see. She sent us as a card, you know, writing on the other side. And so the next one, there, "Which way to the Garth? Left or right?" Oh, it just goes to show, doesn't it? So we come to the house. There's our house there. We make extremely good coffee there, let me tell you. We make coffee out of almost anything, I tell you. And anyway, there it is. And that's a little glimpse of our garden there. And there is another view that you get from, we have a little terrace in front of the house, and that's the view that you get. It's not awfully, a bit better there, more in focus. And there you see the front lawn there, you see the lawn there, and far down there is Grinton Bridge with the River Swale flowing underneath, and the Grinton Church there with the flag of St Andrew there. You see the white cross of St Andrew there, flying gaily in the breeze there, and we drink our cups of coffee and we enjoy it very much indeed. And there again is another view of the house there. You see the lawn in front there, and you can see the terrace there, and there's a bench there where we sit there, like that. Very pretty indeed. And in the birch tree are owls, and you can see there are two owls there. You wouldn't think so, but there are two. There's one there. You can see him there. He's got rather wide-eyed. He's looking at me, and I'm looking at him. I've taken from my bedroom window actually, and he's looking at me thinking, what the deuce is this funny-looking chap? And there's another one on that side there, but you can't see him quite so well, but he's there. There are two of them, there's a pair. And they give, at night time, they give a very faint to-wit, and they never finish it off. I always think they must be too shy or something. Don't know what it is, but anyway, there they are, and they're inhabitants of High Fremington, let me tell you. And there is a view there, once again, of Fremington Edge taken from Harkerside, and you get a jolly good view there of Grinton down below, and Low Fremington there, and High Fremington there, and our house is a bit more prominent there, and the White House up on top there. And very often I take them for a walk down what they call Low Common, down there, like that, for a walk along there, like that, to Johnson's Wood, as they call it, there, like that. And it's great fun, it's very pleasant indeed. And here they are, and there's Heather and her husband. They met at St Andrews, the university there. They both got a degree there, and there's their son there, Gerald, down the bottom there, Gerald. And I'm taking them for a walk, you see. Actually, this is taken from beside Hurst Gate, higher up still, looking down on Reeth. You can just see Reeth there in the corner there, more or less. There's Reeth, you see. And we are walking along very close to the top of Fremington Edge. And there is the Hurst Gate, in actual fact. And you walk that away along the top of Fremington Edge for a good windy blow, I tell you. And there, that's the sort of view that you get on top of Fremington Edge. That there, I may say, is my cousin. She comes very often, cousin Joanna. And there's cousin Joanna there, and her friend there, the matron of the local hospital. Well, they had a matron, I don't know what they call her now, but she's in the local hospital where she lives, my cousin Joanna. And she breeds Jack Russells, Jack Russell Terriers. And she usually brings 6 of them. You can see 3 of them there, 1, 2, 3. The other 3, I don't know where they are. But the thing about my cousin Joanna is that she's got an absolute foghorn voice. She's one of these tough women, you know. She rides ponies, and she rides bareback, I wouldn't wonder. And there's Fell-End right at the far end, you see. And we wonder what on earth to do with these 6 Jack Russells when she comes. But what we generally do is put them in the coke house, and they jolly well spend the night in the coke house, and we let them out in the morning. And after a night in the coke house, they've got quite an appetite, I tell you. And so here we are, coming back, and there's the White House, and we come back this way, you see, like that. There's the White House coming down there, like that. And, or rather, sorry, Low Common it is there, that road there, coming along there, Low Common, below the White House. There's the top there, Fremington Edge, and Hurst Gate is just a wee bit out of the picture, somewhere around about there. So we come along, low common, and there's low common. It's called low common because the land on either side is still common land there, and it's divided up into very small little plots with tiny, pathetically small hay barns and things like that there, like that. They were given to retired lead miners, because Swaledale, of course, was a great place for lead mining, as you know, and so that when a miner retired, he lived in Reeth, of course, but he had this little job to look after, a little place to look after, a tiny little field there, and a little barn, you see, another little barn up there, and so on. And that's why it's called low common. And there you see, you come up here like that, and eventually you arrive back at High Fremington. There's High Fremington there, and here is low common coming down there like that. And so there we are, and this is the end. What I thought I'd show you with this, you remember I told you that I no longer am able, I'm not elastic enough to walk as well as I used to be able to. So what I do instead is to start the walkers off every time. We have a walk once a month, the last Saturday of every month, and I start them off and tell them what they're going to see and so on, and then I sort of hover at a distance in my car, and I take a picture, and here you see a distant view of our walkers on a very stormy day, last Saturday, the last Saturday in May, in other words, walking up to Whaw, W-H-A-W, alongside a very stormy Arkle Beck. And there's the Arkle Beck coming down that way there, like that actually. And here we are, all 11 of them walking along there, like that. Plus dog, of course. And so there, I thought I'd show you how the poor live. And that is a sunset view taken from High Fremington, looking down westwards over a setting sun. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all I have for you tonight. I'm sorry to say I enjoyed it very much, and I do hope you have as well. A horse to go to hell with. Helwith, sorry. If somebody would like to attend to the lights, we'll start. Now there you see, to begin with, what you've got pretty used to by now, I think, I expect, a small section of what I like to call my slide library. It's in a glass-fronted bookcase, and all these, what look like books, are not books at all. They're containers for slides on all sorts of subjects, as you can see there. And in actual fact, the one which concerns us tonight is going to be, hang on, I'm trying to get it right, okay, is that one there? A horse to go to hell with. Now, I'm hoping, oh yeah, so thank goodness, I keep fervently hoping that I'm going to be able to read the beastly thing, but I can, so it's all right. Introduction. Many years ago, the famous Dr. Spears of Reeth had to make an urgent visit to Helwith, a hamlet far away across the moors over Fremington Edge. There is no direct road from Reeth to Helwith, and a pony ridden along the bridleway over Fremington Edge to Hurst is perhaps the quickest way now as it was then. Here, so early one morning, Dr. Spears went down to see old Jim Woodward, who kept a stable at Fremington Mill. He had some difficulty in rousing old Jim and shouted, "Hurry up, man! I want a horse to go to hell with." Immediately a bedroom window burst open and Jim roared out, "And I hope they keep you there and all." Oh dear, I must say, that's really marvellous. Now, I must tell you something. Seeing a horse to go to hell with puts me always in mind of this. It's, we had to hire a camel to go round the pyramids with. And here we are, there's the camel, and we're going round the pyramid. You can see a pyramid in the background there, at least you ought to be able to, there. There is the Sphinx, you see. And I'll tell you what it was. We were given a week's leave in the Delta from the Western Desert before the Battle of Alamein. Everybody was. And this chap was my friend here. He was in the 40th tanks, and I was in. We were both in an armoured brigade there, and we were given a week. So what we did was to cruise down to Cairo, and we had a jolly good look around the pyramids and the Sphinx on this jolly old camel. You see, so that's what it is. So I just thought I'd produce that because it always reminds me of when we talk about helwith and ponies and things. Now, Jim Woodward had a brother, Roland, and this is Roland here, Roland at Fremington Mill. And you can see a glimpse of the mill wheel inside there. There it is, there's the wheel, you see. And that's old Roland there, Roland Woodward. He was manager of the Boulder Flint Co., a quarry company operating, quarrying chert on Fremington Edge. That was his job. He managed this company. It closed down fairly soon after we arrived, as a matter of fact, and so Roland had to retire more or less to Fremington Mill as a farmer. And of course there's still a farm there, as you know. But he was a great man. He also was chairman of the Reeth Parish Council, and he looked very much like his mother. His brother Jim was a darkish chap, and he looked like his father, this chap, and Jim looked like his mother. That was what it was. So anyway, there he is. And what Dr. Spears probably did, having got the pony from Fremington Edge, he could have gone straight up, but I think it probably just as likely if he'd gone along the old Richmond Road there, like that, gradually mounting the hill up to Reel's Head. You see Reel's Head there, and then along there like that, and right the way along there like that to Stelling Road. Now, on the way up, there you are, that's the old Richmond Road, going past the Hag. There's the Hag there, it's called the Hag there, it's a farm, and there's the road, the wall road going up there, up towards Reel's Head, which is on top. And once you get there, once you get to Reel's Head, you get the most superb view. Look at that. Looking down, here's the road coming up, you see, and it curves round there like that, and then you stop off and you look down, and there's Grinton Church and the clock, and Harkerside there, all purple in the heather. There's the heather there, you see, and it's really worth a view, I tell you. It's worth going there to have a look. Mind you, Spears didn't have a child, didn't think of it, did he? He was thinking, oh, this poor chap at Helwith. So he kept on going on. But there was old Jim Bradbury, who farmed up here at one time at Marrick Moor Farm, and he was a most interesting man. His name was James Royal Bradbury. How he got the Royal, I'm not quite sure. I think it was a family name, actually. No relation to the Royal family, I don't think that for a moment. But what he had here, he always used to tell me about them. He said, "Can you see these cows here?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "They're all Herefords," he said. "And the black ones are more expensive than the red ones." So I said, "Oh goodness me, how wonderful!" Or words of astonishment. Anyway, there he is. You would just imagine him standing there with his stick there and shouting all that out to me while I took the photograph. And so there he is, old Jim Bradbury, marvellous man. And so here we are. We've gone past Marrick Moor Farm. There's Marrick Moor Farm there, you see, and you come along there like that, and then you turn left, and there's a signpost there, and it says "To Hurst" on one side, that way there, and "To Marrick" on the other side there, and this is the old Richmond Road going along there like that. So what you do is to go along here like this until you come to the Helwith Road. It's called the Helwith Road. There you are. And it goes along there like that, with a huge, great area, dark area of heather called 40 acres on one side there like that. And it's quite an adventurous sort of walk. Here you are. This is where you are. Now you're going along Stelling Lane or Stelling Road. This is called the Stelling Road here. It's a Norse name, and it means an area for sheep, a sheep enclosure. All this area here, in spite of these jolly old cattle here, it's supposed to be for sheep. And Stelling. Stell is the name of the sheep enclosure, and an ing is a Norse name for a field. So you've got Stelling, and this is Stelling Lane there, going past all the sheep enclosures all the way along there, like that, all the way to Hurst, 3 miles away, over there. And eventually you come to Stelling Farm. There's Mr. Brown, Stelling Farm there, and just beyond there, 40 acres, up there you see, and a pretty bleak sort of farm in wintertime. This is taken in winter, as you can see. And they had the most extraordinary, now you might don't think those are cows, but they're not. They're black sheep. And there's some reason why they should have kept black sheep. I don't know what it was, but anyway, there they all were. They were very pathetic animals. They wanted a lot of sympathy. And when you saw them, you said, "Oh, poor old black sheep," and they came running. They came running to me. So they obviously needed my sympathy and advice if I didn't able to give them. funny animals altogether. And there's the road. There's the road. You see the Helwith Road, and that's the road that almost certainly Dr. Spears would have taken on his pony. He'd have gone down there like that, you see, right the way across there to Helwith. And 40 acres, as I say, is on that side there, like that. And here's the direction post here. To Marrick there, to Hurst that way, to Helwith up there. So that's it. And there you are. This is the road once again. You see, there it is, the Helwith Road there, going up there like that. And as I say, 40 acres on one side, and the names of the various farmers as well. Rennie Allenson plus 2 boys. One of those 2 boys now farms in Fremington Mill. Let me tell you, Ronnie, and. This picture was taken deuce a long time ago, I'll tell you. Anyway, there you are. And so you come to what's called Mun End. Mun End. And there's a 5-barred gate there, you see. And this is really part of Mask. The Mask Beck is far down there like that. And that's Orgate there. And far away, 6 miles away, I don't think you can see it here, but it's just about there, is a little faint bright spot 6 miles away. That is Richmond Castle, would you believe? And we stood here, our walkers were up here once and standing absolutely spellbound at the site of Richmond Castle, way out over there, 6 miles away. So anyway, you get this far, and then Dr. Spears would have turned left down here, down this great road here, down to Helwith, and there's Helwith Farm, and he'd have gone there, and he'd have seen what was the matter. He'd say, "Now then, what's the matter, my man? Here I am. I've ridden all the way from Reeth to see you, and tell me what's the matter." And anyway, there you are. And he had a little black bag, no doubt. All doctors in those days had a little black bag full of all kinds of things. And so that's what Helwith looks like. Very little really in it. That there used to be a mission room. It shows you how remote this village really is still. And that, as I say, was a mission room, or it's not now, but it was a mission room at one time. And before that, before it was a mission room, it was a school. But the school closed down, and they had a church service there once a month, taken by the curate of Ravensworth, way out over there, something like 8 or 9 miles away, over there. He used to come over, and maybe he came over on a pony as well, I don't know. Anyway, so there you are. So back again, here we are back again at Fremington Mill, and here you see Roland there, Roland Wood was standing up, and his wife Desi, there she is there. Desi, short for Desdemona. Now isn't that a super name, don't you think? It comes from, I think, Othello. Desdemona, anyway, Desi, there she was, and various other people there as well. Anyway, and here's another one. This is Miss Elsie Roberts in what was 2 cottages called Upnadown. And it's still called Upnadown, and you used to go through the front door there, and there was a stair going up that way there, and there was another stair going up that way there, and there were 3 bedrooms up on top there. And rather a splendid garden with a very unusual tree in the garden behind there, a medlar tree. You don't very often see medlars these days, but she had one there. And she used to say to me, "Oh, Major Williams, can you come and do a bit of digging in my garden?" And I used to in those days. I couldn't now. I'd have to ask people like her to come and dig in my garden. Oh dear. Pathetic, isn't it, honestly? Now, this is the way you and I, are going up now. We're going to Helwith this way, and we're going straight up from the school. There's Low Fremington, you see, and here's the main road here, and we are going straight up the hill there. Now that's High Fremington. This is a 6-inch map, you see, and that's Low Fremington there, and you can see the mill. There's the mill there, and of course as well the Sunday school. Think of that, there you are. Sunday school, there it is, there, SCH. And you go up Phoebe Lane. Phoebe Lane, there's Phoebe Lane, it's called Phoebe Lane there. These names were passed on to us 40 years ago when we first came. And they have no name on them, unfortunately. There's no name there, there should be really, Phoebe Lane. And you go on up a bit further, and you'll see a remarkable earthwork there. Thought to be the work of the Brigantes in a defence work against the invading Roman legions. And so that alongside the earthwork there is another lane here, as you see, called Stony Lane, like that. And you go up a bit higher, and Low Common comes in there, but what you do is to continue straight up the hill there to Fremington Edge, which is somewhere up there somewhere. And there, on the other side of Fremington, Draycott Hall there, is School Lane. There's School Lane, and the school, High Fremington School, was there. It's not there anymore, of course. And that is our house. Think of that. There. Fancy. Our house is marked on the map. Oh, Anyway, that's the Shady Lane, Phoebe Lane. That's what Phoebe Lane looks like. Quite a well-metalled road, really, going all the way up from the main Reeth Road below. That's what it looks like. Quite nice, really. And this is the Barningham family in High Fremington. It was James Barningham at the back there who passed on all these road names and lane names to me. So I got to know them quite well. They have gone now, of course, they're not here anymore. But that's James, and that's Alice there, and that's the dog Simba, not moving, for goodness sake. And these are the two children here, there, outside their front door in High Fremington. Rather a jolly looking thing. I always forget what that is, but it's something pretty decent, really. Thing there. Anyway, and so you come up a bit higher and you get a splendid view of Fremington Edge. There it is, all the way along there, and the White House there. The White House stands out, as you know, from Fremington Edge for miles and miles and miles, and it's a very, very wonderfully situated house. It really is quite marvellous. And you have there John Squires there and Hilary, and sometimes they manage to find a little motherless fox cub. There's a little fox cub there, you see. The mother, the vixen, has been shot off very often, leaving the poor little thing to wander around without any parents at all, you see. And so they take pity of it and take charge of it and look after it and so forth. But as John Squires often tells me, he says, you can never tame them because they're wild animals, and you can always see him, there he is, looking into the middle distance, you see, you can see him there. He's not really thinking of John, he's not thinking of Hilary either, he's just looking at, I don't know, what, Fremington Edge, do you think? Don't know what he's looking at. Anyway, very picturesque little animals, they really are. And so here we are, and this is what it looks like. Fremington Edge, there's Fremington Edge there, you see, going along there. And what we do, in fact, is to come to Hurst Gate, which is there. Hurst Gate is the gateway to Hurst itself, which is there. There's Hurst there, you see. And so we'll go on a bit further and we'll see what we do see. There's Fremington Edge, you see, and you can see where the chert mining was. All this lot here, this is a spoil heap here of a chert mine managed by Roland Woodward, and there used to be, down at the bottom there, there used to be a blacksmith shop with an anvil down there, but it disappeared along with lots of other things. I suppose it's inevitable, really, and there isn't anything there really at all, anything belonging to the old mining industry. And the astonishing thing about Fremington Edge, I always think, is that there are large areas which you never see from down below. They're level, completely level, as you see like that. And of course, because of that, in ancient times, in the age of the Stone Age, Iron Age especially, they took advantage of that, and they had little villages here, little hut circles and so on, all the way along there like that. Very remarkable, really. Knowing full well that they were safe from observant eyes from down below, and safe also from the wild animals that used to roam in the depths of the dale, far down. And in fact, there's one. You can see it quite distinctly marked. There it is there, you see. And there's another one over there as well. And another one there too. And I think perhaps there may have been one there, barely visible that's there. But that first one, of course, is quite pronounced, really. And here's the long boundary wall separating Fremington Edge there, Fremington Edge, from Marrick Moor. It's Marrick Moor behind there, like that. It's for shooting, really. It's reserved for shooting, and they have quite a few grouse butts in there and so forth. But there's also a hearth gate which opens from that wall, and there's also a jolly interesting boundary stone there. You can see it there, and it's got the coat of arms of Lord Bolton, and it's 3 swords of St. Paul, 3 swords, 1, 2, 3, and because the family name of the Boltons was Paulet, P-A-U-L-E-T, Paulet, and so their crest, as it were, was 3 swords of St. Paul. There it is again, 3 swords. Well, you can see them, 1, 2, 3 there, like that. And the initials on top, W.P. there, for Earl Powlett, William Powlett there, like that. But it's gone, it disappeared. I was up there some time ago and I looked for the jolly old stone. Someone came up with a jeep, or something. No, it must be more than a jeep, for goodness sake. But anyway, they took it away and it's no longer there. I don't know. What they've done with it, I cannot think. And that's a view that you have looking down from Fremington Edge, and there you see Reeth there, you see, and the River Swale curving away around there like that, and all the way up to the top there. It's a marvellous view. Whenever any of our children come along, I always say to them, "What would you like to do, dear?" "Oh, please, could we go on top of Fremington Edge?" And so I say, "Yes, by all means, go up." I can't go quite as often as I used to, but here you are. Here's one of them. There's our daughter, Heather, and her husband there, and boy, Gerald, down below. I think you've seen that picture before, actually. That's taken from just above the White House. There's the White House down below, you see. And there's a fairly stiffish climb up to the top here, I must say. And there is the wonderfully wild Marrick Moor from the wall of the boundary wall that I was showing you before. That's what it looks like. Simply miles and miles of nothing. It's called a very, very significant name. It's called Owlands, O-W-L-A-N-D, and there's an Owlands farm looked after by the Harker family there. But Owlands is a Norse name for wolves, and at one time the wolves were roamed here, up and down here the whole time, and you had to be pretty careful. I reckon you would have probably had to walk along the wall, and when you heard that the wolves come, you would hop over on the other side of the wall. What? I know I jolly well would. And I was up there once with my young friend, and he said, "Look at that extraordinary caterpillar there on the grassy verge alongside the track going to Hurst." And there it was, and so I said, "What do you think that is?" And he said, "I don't really know, but it doesn't belong to Swale there." And I said, "No, it very well doesn't." And in fact, it's the caterpillar of a swallowtail butterfly, which are quite a rare thing. They only exist in Norfolk, in East Anglia. And what is more, the butterfly, the swallowtail butterfly, only lays its eggs on a particular flower. So what on earth this jolly thing was doing here, I cannot think. But it is, that's what it actually is. It's a swallowtail butterfly caterpillar. And that's what the swallowtail butterfly looks like. Jolly handsome insect, really. 3 1/4 inches across. Think of that. Quite a big chap, really. And here you are. The female swallowtail lays her eggs on hog's fennel, whatever that is, and wild carrot. They are spherical in shape and measure slightly more than 1 millimeter in diameter. The caterpillars hatch in about 12 days and are at first chiefly black, but they grow quickly and become fully fed in about 6 weeks. In common with all caterpillars, they change their skins at intervals. Not that we really want to know, do we? The fully grown caterpillar is green with gold spots and black bands. A very remarkable caterpillar indeed, really. So you go on, and this is another view here of Owlan's pasture, and you see the sheep there, and here's the track coming down to Owlan's farm, which is down there, and all the way along there is Hurst Common there, right away there. It's a very wild country, I tell you. No wonder there were wolves there. And there's a chimney. There are 2 chimneys there. They say that they were built by the Romans. And the Romans used to do quite a bit of lead mining up here at one time, and probably built the roads, the straight roads, the one coming up from Richmond dead straight, and the other one 3 miles or so dead straight to Hurst. And that straight one passes these 2 chimneys on the way. In very, very remarkable state, I think. They're very well preserved. And this is the sort of remote farmhouse that you meet with in the Hurst area now. But there are a whole lot of footings, as they call them, traces of where farmhouses were. You can see, for instance, here, there's obviously been something there at one time, perhaps a farmhouse, and there's another one over there as well, where that bank is, and so on, all the way along. They're there, and of course they've been simply destroyed bit by bit as the population has moved away. At one time there was a school here, Washfold School, for something like 60 to 80 children. If you look at your Bulmer's Directory of North Yorkshire, 1890, in the library, you'll see mention of it there. And it's a very remarkable thing that they've all gone now. There are no children, no anything. All a complete desert. And there's a little chapel, the Methodist chapel at Hurst. And it's mind you, the Methodists in Reeth keep it in absolutely apple pie order. You see there. And there's a little burial yard as well there, and several graves in it, of course. But I don't suppose there would be very many graves added to now. And along the road coming down to Padley Beck there, which you can see there, there was at one time the last thatched roof, or barn if you like, in Swaledale, this chap here. It's ling thatched, ling meaning heather of course, probably from over there like that. And when we first came, my wife and I, in 1959, this was still there. And I went down there shortly after we arrived and I took a photograph of it. And that's how it looked in 1959. But if you go now, you'll find the ling thatch has disappeared, unfortunately. So that's a bit of a sort of period piece, if you like. And high up is the school. That's the school, in very, very good shape indeed. It's a lovely school. I think it's up for sale right now. I'm not sure, I believe it is. And that's what it looks like. And as I say, it was quite a substantial school. It had at least 60 pupils in it. And here we all are, look at us there, oh my goodness. No, these are not pupils, don't they're all there, and you can see the name schoolhouse there above it. There's schoolhouse there on top there. Yep, very good. And it all, once again, my memory gets jogged, and I'll show you something now. Oh yes, first of all this. I bought this tie in Darlington, and I thought, by gum, this is the old Washfoldian tie. I daren't wear it because I didn't go to Washfold school, but you can see there, it's the right colours. Purple for heather and black for chert. Heather and chert are all around Washfold, so what a good colour combination for an old Washfoldian tie. And oh yes, this is what I wanted to show you. This is something I must show you. I'll read it out to you. The old Mughal palace of Sangjani near the camp at Hassan Abdal. There's the camp there, you see. Once we had unwound the black insulating tape from our feet, we felt fine. Black insulating tape, you say? Yes. It stops blistering, but is deucedly hard to get off. At Hassan Abdal, you rise before Rivali, and while it is still dark, you listen to the languorous droning of the kerosene cookers like large blow lamps, and snatches of shouted conversation coming from the cookhouse, which is, of course, in the open to the sky, and lit by a few hurricane butties, lamps. You hope they won't be long over getting breakfast ready, for you feel dashed hungry, thinking of the wonderful fried bacon to come. And now, reminding you of the rumours, more and more persistent, that the frontier, that's the northwest frontier, is beginning to sizzle once more. Anyway, there. So there. Now, the village school of Sangjani, there it is. It was wrong, I know, to go out of bounds, but I felt I must I must visit the old Mughal palace of Sangjani near the camp. So I did, and lo and behold, discovered the jolliest little school imaginable. The headmaster, or Babu, is the majestic figure enthroned on the left. There he is there. He received me with great courtesy, bowing deeply and inviting me to come with him to tea with him. I bowed in my turn in grateful acceptance and said how interested I was in his school. So after tea, he showed me around the school, and finally this picture was taken. It was a solemn occasion, any undue merriment being quelled by the gentleman on the right with his wand of office. You can't quite see the wand of office, but it's there anyway. So that's the school there, the little school of Sangjani. So here we go. Now there you can see Washfold. There's Washfold there, and it's just a tiny little hamlet of about 3 houses really. And Shaw is another one. There it is there, and you come down here like this towards Helwith. There's Helwith there. and that's what you look at. There's the Padley Beck. It's called the Padley Beck there, and you can see there the Scott Trials. He's the chap on the Scott Trials. You know what they are, don't you? Every October, the Scott Trials, and they go all over Swaledale really, and there's one of them going down there, you see. It goes down there like that. I think there's another picture of him. Yeah, there we are, there's a better one there really. There he is going down there. It's a real test of strength, I tell you, the Scott Trials, and that's the Padley Beck there, going along down there, and there's an old deserted level house there that is very, very in good condition really, and it looks lovely, and we walked down there and we took our lunch there as well. There we are, that's all of us there, beside that level house. You can see us all with dogs and everything, and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves, I tell you. Now, and there is a little relic of the old lead mining. It's called Price, P-R-Y-S, Price, the Price lead mine, and that was one of the levels there you see. As there were several of them there. It must have been quite a prosperous mine at one time, I suppose. Probably was. Now, I've got to change this Pershing thing, so if you hear sounds of distress, there, hooray. And here we are, we've gone a little further now, and this of course is the Shore Beck here. It's changed name. It's the same water, mind you, but but it's changed name, and there it is, it goes along there towards Helwith, which is out there. It's quite plain sailing along here, lovely short green tennis courty sort of grass there going along there like that. I'm there somewhere. I'm not usually, I don't really like to appear in these things because I'm not handsome enough, but there I'm there. Anyway, there we are. And here that's your first view there of Helwith on the walk. That's what you see. And the Shore Beck is one of the becks coming down here like that, Shore Beck. And the other one is that one there, which is Holgate Beck. And they join at that point there to form the Mask Beck. And the Mask Beck goes all the way around there to Mask eventually, Mask Bridge. And here we all are, having our Dingley Dell, our lunch there, beside the Shore Beck. There's the Shore Beck going down there. Now, that wall there has got the most astonishing collection of fossils you'll find. And you may sort of feel tempted to get a hammer and chisel or something and chisel them out. There, look at them. They're very beautiful, they really are, quite lovely. But they're very deeply embedded, of course, in the stone, as you see. Once again, I couldn't help remembering something of my my stormy past. I'll show you. There. This is at a place called El Adam in the Western Desert in Egypt, Libya. And this is a little aeroplane badge on the side of an Italian aeroplane, you see. And here you are, I'll read it out to you. Moved up to El Adam today, and yes, oh, well, anyway. On the airfield, on El Adam airfield, a great array of wrecked Axis aircraft, that German and Italian aircraft, each with elaborate squadron insignia, like this one. Italian, a caricature of Hitler. There he is, Hitler, with rifle and white topi, marching across the desert. I tried to cut it out, but cut my finger quite badly instead. Served me right. I got down as far as that, as you can see. Oh, well, anyway, there you are. Kind of thing that happens. And so here we are, this is Helwith here, and what is so interesting here is to see a stock of hells, they call them, stones in other words. You'll see some of them there, I think. And there'll be another picture of them, I think. Yes, there we are. It's helwith, that's the name of the little village. And a with is a Norse name for a ford. And a hell is a name for a huge stone, about like something like a paving stone. So what they used to do was to come down that far there, cross the becks here by these huge sunken paving stones here, and up the other side there, where we were walking just now. And that's the meaning of the word helwith, a ford of stones, and that's where the stones were down there. And that is, it's called hell holes, and there they are, you see, one, the huge great stone there, another one there, all the way down there. They're very useful stones to have, of course, indeed, very useful, no doubt about it. And this is a great stable block of at Helwith. It was run at one time by the Hutton family, and there's a little plaque on the side of it which says J.H. there. I.H. It looks like I.H. in fact, but it's really meant to be a J. John Hutton. John Hutton built all this lot here. That's the stable block in Helwith. They raised race horses there at one time in the palmy days. And there's the farmyard now, and there are some of our walkers there, not daring to get closer to these fierce looking things here, you see. And that's the stable block there, you see. And here, this is the road. This is really the only motor road out from Helwith at all. It goes out like that. It goes eventually to Holgate, over the top there, and then it goes all the way around by Cordilleras. And there it is, it comes down there eventually, here, down there, you see, like that. And so here we all are, and this is the road here, and once again, it looks exactly like, so I'll show you in a minute. The road comes down there like that, you see, and you have to take the plunge into the Holgate Beck there and come out the other side. But it's got a very, very pretty little bridge, as you see. Goat Bridge, there it is, that's Goat Bridge. It's very remarkable, I think, how it's kept going all this time, really. Once again, a similar sort of thing. You see, coming down there, there's the road coming. Blasted bridge has gone, been blown. A never-ending stream of vehicles groaned up the steep gradients and screamed down the hills with burning brakes, fearful of the giant precipices on either side and of roadside mines. Many diversions past blown bridges such as this one, there like that, along which we bumped our way at 2 miles an hour in clouds of dust, and here they all are coming down. I was OC of the convoy, unfortunately, that's me there, making sure everybody gets across. Hell of a sweat, I tell you. This picture was taken by my Batman. Oh dear. And so, yeah, that's a very good view there of Schoolmaster Pasture. It's a farm run by Mr. White. There used to be a couple of brothers, White by name, up there. But you can't imagine a farm more remotely placed in the wild Hurst Common than that. There is no doubt about it. And it goes over a little beck, as you see, there, rather pretty little bridge there, I always think, down there like that, as the road goes there like that. And there we are, stopping there, artistically draping it. And so we come to the Green Dragon Inn. It's not there anymore, but it used to be, and it gave them, I tell you, you could go there and be sure of getting a first-class cup of coffee. Not coffee really, beer, but never mind. Yes, that's right. Okay, yes, right. Absolutely fine. It's a pity it's not there, and that's what it looks like now. That's the Green Dragon Inn. It had to be taken off the jolly old coffee stakes, and it's a farm now with, I think, only about 10 acres. You see the odd barn there, and so on. Only about 10 acres in all that lot there. But the farm is there, and you can see the tractor there. And the road that we come up is there, and it used, as I say, it used to be the Green Dragon Inn. And the police said to the chap in the inn, look here, for heaven's sake, don't you shut. You can't afford to close this place. Keep it open day and night. Oh dear. And so here we are. We're coming away now. There's a view there, a distant view of Washfold. There's the school there, you see there, like that. Very good school. Must have been. And so we come along, and that's quite a rare picture there, you see that? It's a little stoat that popped up and said, hello, and disappeared again. Disappeared as quickly as lightning, I tell you. Oh dear. Here we are, we're coming to Fremington Edge again now, and here you are, the advance of the sheep. They all came running towards me, I can't think why. And I said, no, 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 but they still came. And there you are, a view of Reeth there, looking down, and you feel fine, because you're going downhill all the way. And there it is, you're going down the footpath. Very pretty little view you get all the way down. There's Fremington there, Harkerside on there, as you see. You go down there like that, and getting better and better views of the dale as you go down all the time. And that is a reverse view there, as you see, from Reeth, looking up to where we were on Fremington Edge. And lastly, there, Reeth at night showing, you must be very careful here, because it shows the red light district. So do be careful. There's a rather jolly little new moon, as you see there. So there you are.